and we want to congratulate you and thank you for all your years as the head coach of Arlington Wrestling. Coach Perry.
Little Barnes & Noble gift card here for you from all the coaching staff.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you would. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of One on One. I'm Charlie Carnaccio along with Fred Perry, the wrestling coach at Arlington High School for, well, I guess it's over now because he just had his last dual meet after, is it 35 years, 36, 35 years of coaching. Ever since 1981, Fred Perry gained his 400th win of his coaching career this year, got to 421, and then had his final dual meet. You probably saw the highlights against Our Lady of Lourdes. And Fred, thanks so much for coming in.
Pleasure.
You know, what a great career you've had over the years, and what a great way to end, because you have one of the strongest wrestling teams that you have probably had in your career, right?
It's one of the better ones, yes, yeah. Right from top to bottom. I mean, you know, starting in 99 straight to the 285, we're pretty solid.
Yeah, and you really, you know, coming into the season, you weren't heavy senior laden. You know, you had a lot of sophomores and there were not a lot of seniors. No. What were your expectations coming in?
I was figured if we won maybe 75% of the dual meets, we'd be very successful.
Yeah.
But they just surpassed everything I ever thought they would do.
24-2 is what the team wound up 24-2. And now you've got everybody qualifies. They're all in the sectionals, right?
Sectionals, yes.
Yeah. So I mean that's great in itself. So that happens at your place this Saturday.
Right. Yep. The first day. Yeah.
Starting at what? 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then runs through. So a lot of activity at Arlington this weekend. If you want to see some of these wrestlers, they're a very special group of kids that they are, dedicated. And I've always felt wrestling is such a dedicated sport. You wrestled back in the day at 125. Yep. What's the difference in the mindset of kids today, or wrestlers today, compared to when you wrestled?
I think today they're more just one sport orientated. You don't get very many playing two or three sports like we used to do.
Yeah.
You know, football, baseball, wrestling.
Right.
Now maybe 10 months out of the year they're wrestling now.
Is that right?
Yeah, with clubs, and they go to tournaments, and they put a lot of time into it.
So then my second question is, let's compare the skill and ability of wrestlers back in your day compared to now. How much has that changed?
I think they're better now. The moves are pretty much the same.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
different names depending on where you are.
Yeah.
But basically, I think the wrestlers now, because of the commitment they put into the sport, are better than what we were when I was young.
Yeah. So they had a great send-off for you last week at the dual meet with Lourdes. How'd you feel about all that?
It was fantastic. I really appreciate Coach Price coming in and stepping up and letting my seniors get honored that way.
Yeah.
It was glad, sad kind of, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I was glad because we were getting near the end, but I was sad because I was getting near the end also. So.
Yeah, right, yeah. Have you thought about, stepping away, how much you'll miss it? It's been part of your life for so long.
I'm sure I'm going to miss it, but I think it's time. I do want to take a little break and let some of the young blood in there and let them have the reins for a while.
Yeah, and have you thought about what you're going to do with all this time on your hands?
Not yet.
Yeah, you are moving, though.
Well, we're planning on it, yeah. We'd like to sell the house and then move out
Down south?
down south, yeah.
Yeah. You have family down there, or you just want to get away?
No, we just want to get out of this cold.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you there. In your career, you've had so many things in your career, so many accomplishments, milestones, achievements for yourself and for your wrestlers. You know, sectional titles. It just goes right down the line. What was probably one of the more significant things for you that you could think of?
Oh, probably in 2011 with Jimmy Duckham winning the States.
Yeah.
That was just, and the way he did it.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
Yeah. I feel like wrestlers, more than any other sport, have so much discipline and commitment to that sport because of the sacrifices that they have to make. I mean, just at lunchtime, You know, I throw myself back into high school when a lot of my friends were wrestling, and you know, at lunchtime we're all eating like all these great sandwiches, you know, peanut butter and jelly and everything else, and they're just sitting there with like an apple or something, and it's tough. Talk about that commitment.
It is. It is really tough. I know, speaking for myself, back in the days, we didn't really have a lot of nutrition education.
That's right. Yeah.
So you know, we would just not eat.
Yeah, not eat,
know,
throw up, throw on
And,
the
oh yeah,
baggie
the way,
and run
the
around.
way we did it was not really safe.
Yeah.
Nowadays they're much more educated. They eat a lot more healthy. Very seldom do they have to go without food.
Okay.
You know, which you don't want them to do anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So you doesn't happen very often anymore. These kids are very, very conscious about what's going on and what they're putting into their body.
And here's the other great thing about, you know, well, sports community in general, but the wrestling community. You're supposed to wrestle against Wallkill. That was going to be your farewell, the senior night, the whole bit. There's a snowstorm on a Tuesday, so it gets canceled. And then who steps up? Our Lady of Lourdes steps up and says, hey, well, we'll give you. And they were overmatched, and they knew that they were overmatched. But they did that so you guys could have a senior night, and you could have your fond farewell.
Right, that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
You know, Steve stepping up like that. I really, because I put it out to the section, and he was the only team that said, okay, we'll come over.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge because they were definitely outmatched. I know you had a couple of your wrestlers wrestle up a little bit, you know.
Yeah, they're a young team, but he's got potential. I saw some kids that moved well.
Yeah, so did I. You know, I thought that the kids that he had, there is some room for growth there and good things to come down the road.
A nice little
But-
nucleus.
Yeah, but that was pretty special. Did the athletes, did they know that you were going to retire, that this was your last year, or did you kind of spring it on them at the end? I
eased them into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew though.
How much of a time commitment was it for you? We know, we talk to football coaches, we know that is an incredible time commitment, not just during season, but you know, months well before. For a wrestling coach, how much of a time commitment is it, and what kind of effect does it have on your wife?
She hates wrestling, only because I'm not home a lot.
Yeah, right.
It is. It takes an awful lot. You know, getting the plans together, getting the schedules together. You know, working with the young athletes, looking at tape.
Yeah.
You know, and then putting all this stuff now into computers,
Right.
which I'm not really great at, but it's a lot time, very time consuming, a lot of paperwork.
Yeah. So she's at one point saying, I don't like it because you're not home, and now you're going to be home all the time. And she's going to say, I don't like it because you're home. Go get a hobby.
Probably go lose some golf balls or something.
Yeah, right, yeah. What advice would you give to younger coaches for the longevity that you've had, which is pretty substantial, and it's not common. It's not commonplace in probably anything these days. You know, people are moving on all over the place in jobs, in careers, or whatever it is. You've been there for 35 years. What is the secret to longevity, the secret to success, secret to happiness? What could you give to younger coaches coming up as tidbits? Well,
basically, they have to be able to adapt to the athletes. The way athletes are now and where they were back in the 80s are totally different. You have to handle each one on an individual basis. Sometimes you can push kids a little bit more than others, but you have to feel the young athletes out and see what you can do with them.
Yeah, and I've always felt that as coaches across the board, you have to be such a diplomat, and you have to know, because you've got this conglomerate of people with different backgrounds, different financial backgrounds, different social backgrounds, and you've got to treat each one kind of differently. You're almost like a guidance counselor or like a psychologist in some
Sometimes
cases.
I feel like it, yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah. But a great career, and we wanted to just have you come in just so that we kind of give you a fond send-off as well.
It. Thank you.
You've done great things for the community. You're a stand-up guy, and he was a great softball player in the day as well. Yeah, we played on the same softball team for a few years, right?
Yeah, it was a good time.
In the men's league, what was the Budweiser League?
We had some.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good team.
That was good. Who knew that I was going to be with a legend from Arlington High School? But Fred, thanks so much for coming in, and congratulations on your career and your retirement.
Thank you very much.
All right. That'll do it for this edition of 1 to 1. I'm Charlie Carnaccio along with Fred Perry.
Last time. That's Gloomy. All right, you started off, right? Smart and aggressive. No mistakes. Let's go. Come on. Sag!
Get off the head. Get off the head. Duck. Hard. You gotta pull hard. Dag nabbit. Good job. Ready? Yeah. All right, take care of business. Let's go. Do your stuff. Go, pull it. All right, dump, dump. Short dump. Sorry, buddy.
Please join me.
Talking about you, you know.
Thanking Coach B.
Get a Barnes & Noble gift card here for you from all the coaching staff.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you would.
Thank you.